Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be looking at how leaders can now join squads in the new 10th edition of Warhammer 40,000. The article's just gone up on the Warhammer community site, so in the video I'll be breaking down all the information and we'll be using our Primaris Lieutenant as the example for most of the video. We'll have a look at how he joins units, what he can do within them, and some of the other rules that are going to come along for some of the other character models too. As you may well know by now, 10th edition of Warhammer 40,000 is going to see a massive rules change, and one of these changes is going to see how characters will interact with their subordinate units. In the current edition, we see units like the Lieutenant giving powerful aura bonuses to units within a certain distance of their base. But in 10th edition, these aura bonuses are almost all going to be gone. There's going to be some models that still get some aura bonuses, but as it tells us in the article, in almost all cases, these aura bonuses have now gone. So now in 10th edition, instead of having the aura bonuses, certain units or leaders are going to be able to join a single squad. The idea with this is to stop having lots of these aura bonuses overlapping and super buffing particular units. So I like the idea. I also think it's very thematic, and yeah, I can really see this playing out well on the table. So I really like this change. Here's a clip taken from the article which tells us about the abilities for the Primaris Lieutenant. And you can see here highlighted the core ability is the leader ability. And having this leader ability will unlock the ability to join a squad. You'll have to do this before deployment, and it tells us in the article this must be done at the same time as transports are allocated and units are placed in reserve. That leader will then become a permanent member of that unit for the whole battle. Next you've got the faction ability, and this is Oath of Moment, which we talked about in a previous video, so if you'd like to check that out, I'm covering all the updates for 10th edition. I'll put a link at the end of this video where you can easily find it. And next we've got the Tactical Precision ability, and it says that while this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit will all have the Lethal Hits ability. The Lethal Hits ability is simply if you make a critical hit, which is now an unmodified 6 on a hit roll, that means you'll automatically wound the target. That's going to be pretty nice if you've got a unit of maybe 10, you've got 10 Space Marine intercessors in there, all shooting 2 shots potentially, then that could be some really nice amount of rolls there, looking for 6s, getting some automatic wounds. And then there's a second ability called Target Priority. This model's unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. So I could certainly think of a few situations where that's going to come in handy, really helpful to fall back, then shoot, then charge in at the enemy again. Really like that. And I think it's going to be really fun to decide where you put your characters, where you put your leader models, which units do you attach them to. That's going to be a really good part of the planning process. So I can't wait to get more details about this and give it a go. Here's another clip that we saw for the Primaris Lieutenant. Again, he's got that leader ability and he can only join certain units though. And it tells us that on each of the data sheets for each model, it will tell us which units they can join. So in this case, the Lieutenant can join the Assault Intercessor Squad, a Blade Guard Veteran Squad, Hellblasters or Intercessors. And there's 2 that are redacted there, so we'll have to wait and see the full details of those later on. They're going to be the new models, it looks like, so we're definitely getting some new units then. That might well confirm that there's going to be 2 new units in the starter box. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Loads to look forward to, and if you haven't heard already, they'll be unboxing this and showing you the contents in Warhammer Fest at the end of this month. There's another section here which is quite interesting for the Lieutenant, and it says in the article that most of the time only one leader can join each unit. But the Lieutenant is going to be an exception, and they can join the same squad as a captain. We don't know what abilities the captains are going to have yet, but imagine they're going to be pretty good. So if you combine a captain with a Lieutenant, there's going to be quite a lot of buffs going on to a single unit, but they'll only affect that unit, unless of course the captain does have an aura. As it said, some characters will have an aura as well, but most of the time you are going to be just focusing on single units and using your leaders to buff them up. This is a really nice change. Another rule that we're going to see changed is the Lookout Sir rule. That's now gone. It's left the system, and in 10th edition there's going to be a new rule called Bodyguards. The article tells us that usually, and there will be some exceptions, any leader can only be targeted when everyone else in the squad has been taken out. So as soon as that final member of the squad is taken out, then you're able to direct your hits and then your wounds at the leader, and then if you get lucky, you can take them out. It looks like other characters are going to get some nice new abilities as well, and not all characters will have the leader ability. And the example they use in the article is for Commander Shadowsun and the Vindicare Assassin. In the example of the Vindicare Assassin, they're going to have the lone operative ability, and this means that they cannot be targeted unless the attacker is within 12 inches of them. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this. I get the idea thematically how it would work with the assassin character, and even with Commander Shadowsun, especially with the drones and shields and things. But still, the idea that you can have these models on the battlefield and there's nothing you can do against them unless you get close enough, I don't like it. I could see with the units having leaders in there and having the bodyguard idea, that makes more sense to me. But I'm not sure about this lone operative rule, if I like it or not. That said though, if Sly Marbo comes with this ability, I'm pretty sure I'll be happy to use it in the game if he's on my side. They give us another example, this time using Ironfather Pharos, and they're saying that he'll only gain the lone operative ability when taking shelter near an appropriate unit, such as when he's working on an allied vehicle. And this will be one of the times where the exception to the rule where the aura abilities have gone, they would have an aura ability, and that's how they would be able to use the lone operative ability in gameplay. There we go then, that's another nice update, this time looking at the leaders and how they're going to work when you can attach them to units. I really like the idea, I think it's going to fit in really nicely and should be a fun part of the planning process too. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. There's still loads to find out about this new 10th edition, and they say at the bottom of the article that later in the week they'll be going through vehicles and looking at tanks and skimmers, so really looking forward to that. So hopefully you'll come and join me then, but until then, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a big thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep making these daily videos. Couldn't do it without you, and I really appreciate that support. If you'd like to join the community and find out about the perks available, there's a link in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.